Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another amazing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is Delaware's greatest American hero. He's Rob Bass, and you're not. In the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on the go. Catch him if you can. Said his name in Guyana. Now they love him in Japan. No cap, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is graduated the Nightmare Factory. She recently took part in their second student showcase and won. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to the principal of Karma, Karma Dean. Karma, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys? Woo! I'm well. How are you?
We're doing really great. We're just honestly, we were very excited to have you on here. We really and truly do appreciate you giving us this opportunity. When we saw the batch of, Nightmare, Factory graduates, we were like, you know what? We're going to try to get each and every one of them on this show. It may be a bit impossible, but we're going to try to get each and every one of them on this show, because we're so anxious to hear, each and every one of y'all's stories as to what made you decide to become a professional wrestler? What made you decide to train with the Nightmare Factory, and what it was like stepping into the ring as an in-ring competitor, kicking ass and taking names?
It was an amazing experience. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a young kid. I started watching it when I was really young, didn't really understand it at the time, but I was just fascinated by the sport, and I started imitating a lot of the moves around the house. And my mom was like, all right, either I had a monkey or I had a girl, because she's like bouncing off walls and off couches. And, and my grandmother had a whole different take on it. She thought I was going to be a piano player because I had really long fingers. So she was 100% wrong. That totally didn't work out. So I actually became a personal trainer when I was 18 years old, and I fell in love with the fitness end of the spectrum. And up until that point, I had been doing acting. I started acting when I was around 7. I was doing live theater all throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. And in college, I continued it as a minor. So when I became around 24, 25 years old, I suddenly took an interest in fitness competitions. And I said, hey, if I'm doing all this training, and I'm getting myself in great shape and everything else, why not take it the next step and try fitness competitions? And that was a whole different learning experience for me. I definitely learned. No idea what I was doing the first time I got on stage, but I learned. And each time I prepared for another show, it just taught me more and more about myself, about the sport. And, from there, I kind of said, you know what? I have the artistic element from acting that I've been doing my entire life. I have the fitness end of it. Why not put the two together and do what I, loved to do since I was a little girl, and that was to become a professional wrestler. And I didn't really think it was in the cards for me, because I had so many different interests in my early teens and 20s. I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. I wanted to be a, fitness specialist and just teach and coach fitness and strength conditioning. And I was kind of all over the place for a while. So between all that and the fact that I was taking care of a lot of sick family members for a long time, first my grandmother, then my aunt, then my mom, who subsequently passed away in 2018, I said, you know what? I really need to just sit down, kind of reflect on my life, take stock and inventory of myself, and see what it is that I really want out of life. And when I had that honest conversation with myself, it came down to that same thought that I had for so many years and just kept kind of pushing it to the back of my mind. And that was to be a professional wrestler. So when my mom passed away, I was living in the house that she grew up in, and also the same house that I grew up in. The pandemic hit, in 2020. And I was living in New York at the time. I was working in New York City as an actress. I was doing TV and film at the time, pretty regularly, involved in a couple of projects, one after the other. And when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. You know, New York City just completely shut down. The entertainment industry shut down. So I was like, you know what? Let me see how it goes. Let me see if this, you know, things turn around and things pick back up. And unfortunately, they did. Like the city did open back up, and the entertainment industry did start to reopen, but it was totally different. Background workers, you know, couldn't have 400 people on set anymore now with the pandemic. So a lot of virtual reality was being used, and augmented reality, things of that nature. And projects that I had been involved in, you know, went from being at the top of the priority list, like to all the way down at the bottom. So I said, you know what? Let's just sell everything, take a, you know, leap of faith, fresh start, move further down south, and let's go for it, you know, and let's try this dream. And I'm so happy I did, because here I am talking to you guys now as a professional wrestler. So my dream did come true, and it's because I took a leap of faith, believed in myself, and said, hey, you know what? I need to take a step forward, move forward with this, and leave everything behind. So here I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out. I saw that student showcase, and I was like, wow, this woman is killing it on the mic. And that match was like that was a great match match you had. It was you and Hyena Hera versus
Yes.
Spencer Kids and Julia Hart.
Correct.
And y'all tore it down. I was like, wow, this is a I like the part I liked is when you actually made Spencer believe that you were actually hurt, and then she was like, she believed it, and then you hit her with the, I think, a picture frame.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it was a great setup. Definitely, you know, the audience, they believed that I was injured, you know, and I was grateful for that. And my biggest concern going into that move was it going to be believable? And I knew that was all up to me to you know, put the work in to make sure it was believable, and it was, because the feedback that I got from it was, you know, hey, we really thought you were hurt. So I'm glad that worked out, because that could have gone really bad.
That's that Broadway acting right there. That's that New York acting right there. You know.
Yeah.
How, you know. So you're from Long Island, right?
Correct. Born and raised. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm in North Carolina right now, but you know, I got family. I lived there on and off for several years, so I know how it is with, you know, the acting, and you know, we New Yorkers know we know how to make things like work for us. You know, we know how to make things like work for us to get ahead.
Yeah,
you know,
that's for sure.
To get to our goals and so on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
you know, yeah, go ahead.
So did you ever like go to any of like the independent shows over there, like NYWC? Were you able to check out any of those shows over there?
Well, I did see a few independent shows. I had a few friends back on Long Island that were involved in the independent circuit, and I kind of went and saw some of their shows, and so I was a little bit familiar with how things went and how that worked. But I myself, I've been booking independent shows like crazy since the showcases aired, which I'm super grateful for. But prior to that, I had some, you know, experience with seeing them, but you know, not directly involved. But yeah, I had a few friends that were involved in some independents, mostly on Long Island though.
Awesome. So growing up and like watching wrestling, who are some of your like favorites, like you like cheering for, that you liked watching?
I was a huge fan of Trish Stratus and Lita. Like, they were my idols growing up. I thought the charisma, well, first of all, Trish Stratus was just beautiful to look at, you know, and when she came out, all eyes were on Trish Stratus, you know, and with Lita, it was, you know, not just her beauty, but she had this badass edge to her. She had some edginess to her that I fell in love with. I thought it was just great. And she took risks, you know, she put herself out there. Every time she went in the ring, she gave it her all, and she didn't hold back at all. And that reflected in every move that she did in that ring. You could see that woman never held back for anything. So I would say they were a huge inspiration for me. I did enjoy Shawn Michaels, but I think a lot of us women did back then. He was the heartbreak kid, right? So he was great. But yeah, Trish and Lita were my big inspiration growing up. I love them. I still do. They're both incredibly inspirational women.
Yeah, Trisha and Lita, they definitely I would say their matches against each other were classic. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that maybe they come back and make a run for the tag team titles and possibly win. I wouldn't mind that, but even if it was just like just to like see if they can actually like, even if it was just like a challenge where they didn't end up winning, I still wouldn't mind. They were definitely two phenomenal women, and I'm very sure that they actually inspired a lot of people with their in-ring work as well. So student show. So now that you trained at the Nightmare Factory, what was your training like? Were you like nervous? Because I mean, of course, it's ran by QT Marshall, and you got Cody Rhodes and all these other, and Ray Lloyd, aka Glacier. What was it like for you? What was the training like for you, and so on?
When I first walked in, I felt very intimidated. You're walking into the Nightmare Factory, as you just said, run by the Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall, and of course Glacier, Ray Lloyd as well. And I was nervous. I was scared, but between the three of them and the other coaches we had, they made everybody feel right at home. Like as soon as you walk through those doors, they made you feel like you were part of the family. They helped everybody. They lifted everybody. No matter what it was, if you were struggling with something, they always made you feel like, hey, it's okay. We're here to help you and get you through this. And they always did. And for me, it was a whole new skill, to learn. A lot of students in our class had some prior experience. They had gone to other schools prior. So I was one of the few that had no experience at this sport coming in. And even though I had been so athletically trained and had done so much in the, field of fitness in my entire career, nothing prepared me for what this type of training was like. This was a whole different level of training. And, I quickly learned that. And there were moments where I really wanted to just say, I quit, I give up, I can't do this. This isn't for me. I struggled the second week with that greatly. And, then I sat down and I reevaluated. Glacier actually said, every time you get those moments of doubt, sit down and reevaluate and think of your why. Why are you here? And if that why brings you back to because this is where you're meant to be, you love this, and this is what you're meant to do, then keep going, because it will, once you break through those tough spots, it will get easier. It'll get harder, but it'll get easier if you kind of get what I mean. And it did, because I got over those hurdles. I struggled. I broke through some of those barriers. And then it was like, after that, everything just started flowing. Even the hard stuff, I was like, hey, this is hard, but I can do this, just be patient with myself, absorb the knowledge they were giving me, and not be afraid to take some risks, because it is, you have to take risks in order to receive the award. So I had to take some risks, and it paid off. So I was glad that I did that, but it was tough. There's no question about it. It was something I'd never trained for in my life like that. It was incredibly difficult.
So what was it like? So of course, now you ended up, graduating. So what was going through your mind? You graduated, you made it. Now you're entering the student showcase. What was entering, like, what was your mindset when you were entering that match, with Hyena as your tag team partner, going against Julia going against Julia Hart and, Spencer Kitts? Was there like butterflies, or were you like, you know what? We got the best training from the grandson of a plumber and QT Marshall and Glacier. We got this. Or was it like neutral, a bit of both?
It was definitely a bit of both. Before any performance I had done, whether it be live theater or TV and film, that moment right before you're about to go out, there's always that little bit of, like you said, butterflies in the stomach or sense of nervousness. But as soon as I stepped out and the camera was right there and the lights went up, it's like something switched, and it was like, wow, let's do this. Let's go out there. Let's give them the show that they're here to see. And, we walked out there, I think all of us confident, knowing that we had received top-notch training, knowing that up to this point that we had been so well prepared, there was no reason for us to doubt ourselves or not to be confident, because we had gotten the best of the best in training. And, nerves will always be there, but I think those nerves kind of help you, in a sense. It's good to have that little bit of nervousness. The best actors in the industry, when I've worked in TV and film, always said they got nervous right before a scene or shooting a certain, scene of some sort. So yeah, it was a mixture of both. But once those lights went on and I was out there, I felt so good. It was amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I have to say, and I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me, but y'all really were phenomenal in that match. I really enjoyed it. That circle of life Hyena did, I was like, what? And then
Yeah.
Spencer Kids came out and she was spitting some rhymes, and I was like, what? Yo, that's fire.
Yeah.
And then you had Julia Hart coming out here. Man, I tell you, she may not be related to Bret Hart, but I'm pretty sure Bret was watching and was like, hey, she ain't my family, but yeah, we'll claim her, man. We'll adopt her or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
yeah.
saw Spencer do that. Y'all just killed it. Man. I was like,
thank you.
Yo, Nightmare Factory. I'm so excited. I mean, I know Julia recently made a debut on AEW Dynamite.
She did.
And
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of y'all on there. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm probably gonna scream like a little girl if I see you on there. I'll be like, yo, mom, turn on the TV. Look what's over there. I did it with him before. He knows. We had a guest, Danny Limelight. I don't know if you ran into him yet, but when I saw him on there, I was like, yo, Rob, turn on YouTube. Like, go on YouTube. I'm like, look who's there. He's like, oh, snap, it's Danny Limelight. We just had him on the show. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we had a good time. And we all brought our own flavor to the show. I think that's what we were all different characters, distinctly different characters. I think that made a huge difference.
So in terms of I just got two more questions before I pass on to Rob. So now that you're a professional wrestler, your trainer Cody, a long time ago, not a long time ago, like several years ago, when he left WWE, he had a list of wrestlers he wanted to face in the very near future, and subsequently other wrestlers started posting their list too. My next question is, what top 5 wrestlers do you want to face in the near future? They could be from like anywhere, AEW, even a training camp, WWE, Impact. Who would you want to face?
I think the number one person I'd love to face, because she's someone who I admire and love and respect, and her work ethic is second to none, is Jade Cargill. She's been on AEW a couple of times, and she's phenomenal. She's phenomenal. I've seen her over at the factory. She's a great human being. She's a great performer. And I would love the opportunity to be in the ring with her. She'd be my number one pick. Thunder Rosa would be another choice for me. I think she's a great performer as well. And I think the two of us in the ring would be a really good match, especially given our two different types of characters. I think they would blend really well in the ring, and I think it would create, a good buzz. I love Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks from WWE. There's just something. I mean, Charlotte's an incredible athlete. She is, as they call it, they always say, natural selection. And she's the GOAT. She is, in my opinion. I really do think she is. And Sasha Banks, I saw her on Stone Cold's podcast, The Broken Skull, I think that's what it's called. He had her on, and listening to her story and how she persevered through so many difficulties, so many rejections, so many difficulties and failures and everything to get to where she is, it like inspired me. And it was right in the middle, I think, of training at Nightmare Factory that I saw that, and it gave me like a surge, of like motivation, like, hey, she could do this. And she, had a lot of setbacks and everything. I certainly can do this, So for me, I mean, I think I might have left one out. I think that was 4, but I think those are definitely my top 4. If I had to pick a 5th, I would say I'd want to go back in with Julia and Spencer, because, we have unfinished business, but in a good way. They're great. They're great. Our in-ring chemistry is really good.
Awesome. So you're also, not only are you a wrestler, but you're also a manager, and you also
Yes.
manage one of our past guests, a man we had the pleasure of speaking to, the cornerstone of perfection, Dean Hiram.
Hmm.
So are we going to be seeing more of that in the near future? Because I personally, that's a great pairing, and I see success in that.
I hope so. I really enjoyed working with him. He's great. Again, our in-ring chemistry and working together was really, really good. And I felt great when I went out there and introduced him. It was just like I walked out there, and I was like, wow, this is where I belong. This is what I should be doing. This is what I am doing. And Clint, he's great. He's a great person. He's one of my best friends. Love him to death. And I was so happy that I got paired with him because, it worked out really well. He's the cornerstone of perfection. I'm the principal of Karma. So it blended really well. We actually, we did some promo work together during the camp, and it was phenomenal. We had a really good connection. So I do hope to see more of us working together in the future. I really do think we will, because we're determined to make that happen.
Awesome. So my last question before I turn it over to Rob here. In regards to professional wrestling, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in 5 years, just like Kenny Omega, the collector of championship belts. I see myself with a belt on every arm, and not because I graduated from Nightmare Factory. I'm this, I'm that. It's because I'm going to work my butt off to get to that spot. I'm going to work my butt off to deserve and earn a spot in getting a championship title shot. I really do think I do deserve it. I think my work ethic is good. I know what I bring to the table, and I'm ready to take on whatever challenges that come my way. After graduating from Nightmare Factory and going through what I went through, it's on. There's nothing that can stand in my way at this point. I'm ready. I'm ready to go for it 100% and give it my all. So I'm ready.
Awesome. I definitely look forward to seeing you collecting belts, because I'll be like, wow, we just had the collector on our show, man. That's awesome. I mean, honestly, I like to see people do well. I like to see people succeed. And I'm like, that's why you see, I never, like, when we here at Ringside Society, we don't like discriminate against anybody that, wants to be on our show. We don't discriminate we don't discriminate at all. I mean, because you never know who's going to be who, in the future. I mean, look at James Ellsworth. I mean, you got guys that are in the gym 24/7, 365, working out, trying to get that WWE contract. And then you got James Ellsworth, who doesn't, he looks like your average guy. You couldn't even tell he was a wrestler. He gets a contract and he's traveling all over the world, WWE. So, that there is a good example of, like, you never know what's going to happen in the world of professional wrestling. So
Right.
that's why we don't, we're here at Ringside Society. We don't, we talk to everybody. We don't mind. Even like, people that aren't wrestlers, like the referees, the even the gear makers. I mean, we talk to everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Rob. I know he's itching to ask you some questions. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's up, Karma? How's everything doing?
Good,
Doing
Rob.
today? How's everything going your way?
Good. How are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm well, just, relaxing and all that. Sorry, I was, I had to turn camera off earlier. My dog, she came in and she didn't want to come up on and get on camera. She wanted to chew on everything over here. So I'm trying to, my foot, trying to keep her away. And then she wanted back out. And I'm like, oh my Lord. I'm like, Lucifer, go on now. Yeah. So I had to get her out. So my bad.
I get it.
I'm sorry.
I get it. No, I get it. I
You know how hounds are.
Yes.
So I do want to say that I love the name and stuff, and I've always believed in karma. Even before that show, my name is Earl. You know what I mean? I always believe, hey, you do good things will happen. And if you do bad things will happen. Because I've seen it personally and stuff. So
yes,
is that kind of how you got your name or whatever?
Yeah, I was actually it's funny how my name came about, because I had, going into the Nightmare Factory, I had a list of names and characters that I'm like, this might work, this might work, this might work. But I was bullied very badly as a child in school. So believe it or not, that name Karma stemmed from all of the people that made fun of me, didn't believe in me, had nothing but terrible things to say to me growing up, it was like, hey, I'm karma now. My revenge is my success. Me coming out here and doing my thing and doing it well is revenge on all those who said, you're to this, you're to that, you'll never make it, you'll never amount to anything. Well, my character is now making them eat their words pretty much. So that's where it stemmed from. I love the character because it's like she can, I'm a heel, but she can easily turn face because she could be good karma or she could be bad karma. So I felt that was an easy character to play with, kind of. But yeah, that's where it stemmed from, is the bullying I took as a young child. Now karma's coming back with success to take revenge on all those who, wronged her, and her carmillions, as I call them.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I don't stand. I hate bullying myself. I hate that stuff. I mean, yeah, I don't stand for that and all. Yeah. Yeah, terrible. Now, when you're cutting promos and stuff, because you sound like you're definitely from New York and stuff. Because my aunt, she lives in Jersey, Cherry Hill or whatever, and all her friends and neighbors and stuff, they kind of sound like you, because they're from Long Island and stuff. Now, with that accent and stuff down there in the South and stuff, cutting promos, are people just like automatically, boo, you could probably just be like, hey, you have a beautiful house, boo, or this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. When I walked out representing Dean Hiram, I mean, I automatically, without me saying much, they were booing me. I'm like, well, they know I'm a heel, or they know they heard my voice and my accent. So that's the end of that. But yeah, even down here, when we first moved down here, I didn't have to say much of anything. People be like, Long Island? Yeah, what gave it away, So yeah, it was definitely, cutting promos is fun. But I feel like that works in my favor too, because that's just going to put more heat on me, I think. You know, so that's really good.
Oh yeah. Plus when you're cutting promos, you were getting it in. So I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't want to get in a promo battle with you. I'm good. I'm good. I'll sit right here and just be like, yeah, I'm good. I'll watch you burn other people. You know what I mean? I'll stay right here, just cool as the other side of the pillow. All right, yeah, I'll watch y'all. I'll watch you do that.
Yeah, it's like what my words can't do, my in-ring ability will finish you with.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So I did. What were your 3 karma rules? You had like 3 rules of karma.
Yes.
Could you explain what those are?
Sure. So the 3 karma rules that I always present to my opponents is 1, never turn your back, which is kind of what Spencer Kitts did to me in the show. And that's why she got the board. She turned her back. So she turned her back on karma. She got her karma for it. The second rule would be keep a clean and honest aura. So what that translates as is if you're honest with me and you keep it real with me 100% all the time, I won't have a problem with you because, you're telling it to me like how it is. But if you're shady about things, if you sneak around, you try to talk about me behind my back or do things behind my back, that's when we're going to have an issue. So that explains rule number 2. Rule number 3 is every action has a reaction. Kind of self-explanatory, they do dirty to me and it's going to come back to them times 3 pretty much. So those are my karmatic rules. And I always tell people if I find fault with them that they've broken any of those rules, then they're going to have the wrath of karma brought down on them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Don't break those rules if you don't want the wrath of karma on you. Oh, that's my Lord. Oh. So now, before you got trained in wrestling, you were like, in shape, like you said, in those, athletic competitions, personal trainer and stuff. Now, what's the difference between being in ring shape and then just being, in shape out of the ring? Because I've heard it's totally different. Because the second you get in that ring, you're like hitting the ropes and all. It's like, oh, it's totally different. Like, oh man, is it what's the differences and stuff?
The cardiovascular end of it is the part. Yeah, you have to be cardiovascularly fit. But you have to be, you could be able to lift weights all day, but if you get blown up easily, that's not good. You have to be able to sustain yourself in the ring. And that requires a lot of training. See, I went into this, I'm thinking, hey, I was never a runner or really a big cardio person. I was more of a bodybuilder. So for me, lifting weights, that's my thing. That's the easy part. So I went into this thinking, hey, I lift all these heavy weights. I'm good to go. No. You learn very quickly. If your cardio has been lacking, it's going to show. And so fortunately we had an exceptional strength and conditioning coach, and he corrected that right off the bat for everybody. Everybody's numbers went up at the end for our evaluations, including mine. I was scared that they wouldn't. and they did, and improved drastically. So that made me very happy. But yeah, the biggest difference is that heart needs to be in shape to keep up with that, stamina that you're going to need in the ring.
That's right. Now, are you still keeping up with the training that you did in there? And I heard that that strength and conditioning there is like world class and stuff. Same with the nutritionist. Are you keeping up with all that too? Nutrition, all that.
Oh yeah. Woo. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of matches coming up. One at the end of this month. I have a few after that. So I know if you let your foot off the gas pedal, even for a couple of days, it can affect your performance. So for me, I'm at this point, team no days off. Every day, like this morning, I was up at 5 a.m. I was in the gym on the stair climber, straight hour. I have my 25-pound weight vest here at home. I have like a little miniature gym in my garage. And I just, I put the work in, because I'm telling you, if you slack and you start to pull back and say, hey, I can take a little time off, that little time off is going to creep up on you really fast. And you don't think so until you actually get back into it and you go, whoa, I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept up with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I did get to see that before this, you did some modeling stuff and all that and all. Now,
I did.
Now, I like my mom and sister and like almost every every woman I know has watched that Tyra Banks show, the modeling show and all. Mm-hmm. Now, I do want to ask: is it really as cutthroat as it is on that show or whatever? Like, are they embellishing anything, or is it really like, oh my gosh?
No, yeah, no, it's pretty cutthroat. I did beauty pageants for about 6 years. I was the undefeated Miss Long Island 4 times in a row. Nice. I was Miss East Coast. Yeah, thank you. I was Miss East Coast New York fitness pageant winner, so I was undefeated in there. But it's pageantry and fitness, they're like 2 totally different animals once again. Cutthroat, yeah, I saw a lot more of that, believe it or not, with the people that had children in the show. It was more cutthroat between them. The adults handled it a little bit more maturely than, believe it or not, like that show with like, the one with Honey Boo Boo, and
okay,
like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like those child pageants, that to me, like just from my observations, was a lot more cutthroat than the adults. Like the adults were a little bit more mature with one another. The fitness, it depends, it all depended. Some shows I'd go to, everyone got along really nicely. Everyone was good with each other. They treated each other with respect. And then there were some shows where there was one show I didn't attend, but a friend of mine did. And a girl that, she thought she was friends with, she won the show. The other girl didn't. And, she poured bleach all over her stuff in her gym bag. I mean, these things go on, and when you say, oh my God, who could do a thing like that? It happens, and yeah, fortunately it never happened to me, thankfully, but it has happened to people I know. And yeah, I'm sure it's cutthroat in any business that has competition attached to it.
Oh yeah, that sounds crazy. Yeah, yeah. Because if I did modeling, I wanted to be like that. What was Ben Stiller, Zoolander? I just want to be that ditzy and stuff. Like, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Right,
so,
right.
Oh man, yeah. Because when I seen the Tyra Banks show, it was just like, really? That's what goes on? Oh my, ooh, okay, yeah, wow.
Yeah. They're your friend till they're not your friend.
There you go. Yeah. That's right. So I did. So you're also like filming and stuff, a TV show, and doing a little acting right now and stuff. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us about that? If it's cool.
Sure, absolutely. Without disclosing the name of the project, I can say that I'm actually doing it's a TV series, hopeful TV series. Right now, will be streamed via web, but we're starting to film that in June. Everything's remote right now, which is great because I'm here in Florida, so that works out well for me. And I didn't think any acting opportunities would come my way, moving to Florida, because you really don't hear about it down here. There's some stuff in Tampa, some stuff in Miami, but, I'm a little further up north, and the acting opportunities just don't really exist up where I am. So when this came about, it was actually a director that I knew from, not that I had worked with directly, but I knew from being in New York and having, the same circle of friends and such. And he just reached out to me and said, hey, I know you're not in New York anymore, but how would you like to come aboard and work on a project that, pre-COVID was supposed to happen and then didn't happen. We're getting it off the ground now. So it was one of those out of left field shocks, surprises. I said, hey, this is great, So yeah. I'm really happy to be back in that and be able to do something else that I love. And that's, acting. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity, but that'll start sometime in June, probably get going by mid-September, October, might start to air. Depends on how quickly things can get rolling. But, I would assume editing and such is a little bit different now because, if it's virtual, there's a little more involved. But Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very happy about that.
Oh,
For
that's
that
pretty
opportunity.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I know. I did get to do a little filming thing last year. I got to play a zombies, a little independent film or whatever. Oh, that was it was like right when the pandemic started and all. But I don't even know if it's going to see the light of day. But hey, it was fun. You know, just hanging out there. You know, just talking with everybody. You know, just all
Yeah,
day. I
for
even got
sure.
a death scene. You know, what I mean, I got to chase the dude. You know, I got stabbed and killed and stuff, and I got to drool blood. So that was pretty awesome. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's
So.
great.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, I had fun. I was like, oh man, now I need to get to Hollywood somehow. Yeah, I need to catch a bus. I need to get that bus now.
That's
Oh
right.
man, that's right. Oh, like when you were training, you know, at the factory and stuff, did you end up seeing Shaq there when he was training for his you know, what his thing up there? And if you did, you know, what was it like? You know, just watching Shaq train? Is he like one of the biggest human beings you've ever seen?
I happened to, yeah, I happened to be there one night, and it was just yeah. You know, like you do one of these, you're like, hey, you know, yeah, such a nice guy though. What a nice guy, you know, like big guy and just the biggest heart. Really, really nice guy. Yeah, I did get to meet him briefly. He really, really nice gentleman.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because if I ever met him, I would be like, man, we need to redo Kazam and shot for shot remake of Kazam, but we're gonna get it right this time. This time, I'm
Yes,
gonna be director. We're gonna get it right.
yes.
Oh, so yeah, so when you were training, you know, from like Cody, Glacier, QT Marshall, all those, you know, like what was like the best advice that they have given you or whatever that you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna stick with. You know, I'm gonna keep this right here and kind of be like my mantra, like this is some good advice, and we'll keep, you know.
Something that Glacier said that repeated a lot, and it started to make sense more towards the end. And he would say, "The little things are the big things." And you know, it's not just getting in the ring and doing moves, because you know anybody can get in the ring that's trained and do moves. You know, and that would be pretty boring to watch. It's what you bring to the performance as your character, as an individual. You know, as an entertainer. You know, how are you making yourself memorable? How are you making yourself stand out? You know, so I thought about that because even with you know with acting and TV and film, like a lot of times, more so live theater than TV and film, but a lot of times people, they'll memorize the lines and then they just want to get through it, you know, so they'll just, you know, go with the lines and just, you know, kind of spit them out and, you know, and lose the character. But if you take the time and you stop and you just, you know, realize, hey, if you think you're going slow, slow down. That was the other thing I always used to say. So for me, that was the biggest takeaway. They gave a lot of great advice. They all had their own little tidbits of advice that they would give, and every one of them gave advice that I'll definitely take with me for the remainder of my journey in professional wrestling. But definitely that thing that Glacier said really stuck out to me, because when you think about it, like he said, you could get in the ring, you could do all the moves, you could do them great, and it could all look great. But what are you doing in between those moves that are making you memorable? You know, that down the road from now, people are going to be saying, hey, remember that match between, you know, Julia Hart and Spencer Kitts, you know how great it was when she did this and did that. And sometimes the high spots, you know, sometimes don't even matter. It's what you're doing around those high spots that are creating the memories and the magic of, you know, for the audience to come in and see. So for me, that was my biggest takeaway, is to remember the little things are the big things.
You know, that is true because to this day, I remember when I was younger, I went to an ECW show and the Dudley Boys were wrestling. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember I had like a sign like, yeah, welcome to Dudleyville. You know, I held it up. Bubba
Right.
Ray turned and looked at me and was like, this ain't Dudleyville. How dare you disrespect? It was like, he's going to come out there and beat me up. Like, for real. Like he wasn't playing. I was like, you know, and to this day,
Yep.
I'll always remember that. Like, oh man, yeah. And then they
Right.
started fighting around us, and he looked at me. He's like, "Where you?" I was like, "No, I'm hiding over here. You know, I'm gonna duck behind these people." No, yeah, yeah. So,
Exactly. But you'll never forget that. Exactly.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. All that stuff. Yeah, that small character where you don't think, you know, not thinking nothing, but yeah, it works. It definitely works.
Absolutely.
That's right. Now, I do want to ask, you know, since you're, you know, train, you know, do all the fitness stuff and all. I'm trying to get my 6-pack abs and stuff. You know, I turn 40 next February, and I got one ab, you know, all the way you know, up to the side. I'm trying to accentuate, yeah, what I got. You know, somewhere it's hidden deep up in over here. So, you know, like, you know, what's a good exercise regimen to do? Like, should you do crunches, the sit-ups, you know, push-ups, you know?
Well, I'll tell you, the best advice I can give for if you're looking to get a defined midsection, abs are made in the kitchen. I know that sounds very cliche, but it's true. If your diet's not on point and you're not eating right, you could go in the gym and train, you know, and the older you get, the harder it gets, you know, because your hormones change and metabolism changes, you know, the circadian rhythm, everything just changes as you get older. So, you know, it gets harder, and you kind of have to try to stay ahead of Father Time a little bit when it comes to that. So, as you get older, the importance of diet even becomes more and more prevalent when you're trying to develop a fitness and a lifestyle protocol or change. So when people ask me that, that, like I said, it's, I tell people, when they say, well, what do you mean by in the kitchen? What's defined, what's made in the kitchen? I say, well, first of all, clean eating, single ingredient food. You want to avoid processed food, sugary food, alcohol. Alcohol has a lot of empty calories people don't realize. I haven't touched a drink in probably about 8 years, and it's not because I've had a problem with it. It does nothing positive for me. I rather, drink, water with lemon, or it's as boring as it sounds, but I rather fuel my body with good things rather than, put things in that aren't doing anything good for me. So tell people, lots of lean meats, chicken, fish, seafood, try to stay away from red meat and pork. I'm celiac, so for me, I can't ingest gluten because I'll obviously have a very harmful reaction to it. But I tell people it's really not a bad idea to try to eliminate as much gluten as you can. It doesn't really do anything for you. Gluten is glue, it's the glue that holds bread together and everything else. It's and it can cause leaky gut syndrome, in excessive amounts. I'll get people that argue with me and say, hey, no, that's bro science, and I'm like, yeah, no, I go by the research and the science, and people are free to make their own choices. The advertising industry will, tell you, this new product came out, you need to eat this, you need to eat that. Of course, Twinkies and all them, they're not going to want to lose their customers. So they're not going to tell you, hey, we contain gluten and dairy and all that. This is bad for you. So I just tell people, anything like perfect example, I just said it, dairy. Dairy can, alternate hormones in women. Cow's milk was not meant for human consumption, but on TV, makes your bones strong, makes this, makes that, so you have to be your own advocate, do your own research, and just stay a step ahead of the game, because at the end of the day, it's your health, it's your life. The advertising industry isn't going to be paying for your hospital bills and, investing in your health later on. There was a meme on, I think it was Facebook a while ago, that said, make time for your health now or you'll be forced to invest in your health later on. And it makes a lot of sense. So, just, fasted cardio is another thing I go by. For me personally, fasted cardio, if I need to get in shape in a relatively short amount of time, fasted cardio always works wonders for me. I train on an empty stomach now in the morning. I don't want to be digesting food as I'm trying to train. So a lot of people will argue with me and say, well, I got to have a little something before I train. If that's what works for you, that's fine. But for me, I tell people don't skip breakfast, get that cardio in the morning, lift heavy, and when I say lift heavy, I don't mean go in there and grab, a 300-pound weight and hurt yourself, but challenge yourself, and, just work hard. And as far as the diet goes, just, keep it clean. It's simple, egg whites, are clean, chicken, lean chicken, turkey, fish, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, more so than regular potatoes, vegetables, fruit is good. Anything that's single ingredient, not processed, is going to work well for you. So that's what I always tell people. Just be smart about it. Portion sizes, don't eat late at night. Don't, eat a bag of Cheetos at 10 o'clock at night and expect to wake up with abs. It doesn't necessarily go that way. So,
That's right.
It's hard work, but it's worth it. Once you adapt to that lifestyle and you get in the groove, believe it or not, the first couple of days are hard. And then when you start to see results and you start to feel better, you go, hey, you know what? I can do this. And then you just keep going ahead with it. So
that's cool.
Eat clean. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was younger, I'm country, so I grew up on cooking with lard, butter, and all that stuff, what I mean? So
Southern cooking.
Oh yes, yeah. My mom to this day will still do that stuff, It's like, yeah, all right, but yeah, I try to, I try to get better as I've gone on. I used to put butter on a Pop-Tart, you know what I mean? After you take it out there, it's all great. Oh yeah, so like I have rice and stuff today, chicken and rice today for dinner, you know what I mean? I try to eat like that, but I gotta have my hamburger, my tacos. I gotta have my tacos.
And that's fine. I tell people, listen, I hate when people, if you diets always fail. It's lifestyle change, So if you're eating clean 75, 80% of the time, you want to have your burger, your taco, whatever makes you happy, go ahead and enjoy it, because at the end of the day, life's too short. And I'm not an advocate. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why, among many others, why I eventually walked away from the fitness stuff, because it's like, you know, you don't really live a normal life anymore. It's a totally different lifestyle. And your body reacts to that after a while. The yo-yo dieting, you know, eating clean, and then you go crazy and eat all kinds of garbage, you know, and you kind of take 10 steps back. And after a while, your metabolism starts to take a hit, your hormones, everything, you know, your body starts to break down because it's not normal to be doing that. So I tell people, balance. Eat clean, and then you know what? You want your goodies, have your goodies. Enjoy your, you know, what, like you said, tacos. Enjoy it, you know? Just don't have it all day, every day.
Yeah,
Make
that's
it a
right.
treat. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I did like what you say. You haven't had a drink in like you know, a long time either. I haven't had a drink. I haven't drank in like 10 years either myself. You know.
Yeah.
Usually when I tell people that, if I go out somewhere, they're like, "Yeah," I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'll have like, you know, give me a Coke or water or lemonade, whatever, anything." They're like, they'll look at me like, you know, there's something crawling out of my ears and stuff. Like,
Same.
he's like, really? You know, I
Same.
just don't want to drink. You know, like, come on now. Yeah, it's
Same.
no big deal.
It's really no big deal. You can have fun without, you know,
Yeah.
having alcohol. So
I do all the time.
Yeah, same here. Yep. I'm always happy, you know. I get high on life. What can I tell you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But plus, I tell people, I'm like, look, yeah, I can't have that alcohol. Last time I drank alcohol, I blacked out when I came to. I was in Tennessee playing Russian roulette with a one-eyed Native American. So yeah, I don't want to go through that again. So yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just want to be at Applebee's and then go home. Let's just do Applebee's and go home.
And remember a good night. Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's right. Watch some TV or something. Oh,
That's right.
so are you watching any new shows or TV and stuff? If you have time and stuff, are you catching anything new?
I mean, I was Shameless just ended their you know, series finale. I was a big you know, fan of Shameless. I binge watched because I didn't watch it at first, and then I kind of got into it. I think it was like season 4, season 5. So I went back and kind of binge watched everything, and then I became addicted. So that was my show recently. I know this is going to sound really silly, but Temptation Island. It's a super silly show, super silly reality show, but it's so much fun watching the silliness, I guess, of the show unfold. It's like, why are you bringing your significant other to an island called Temptation Island and expect nothing to happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it at all, you know? So
That's right.
I don't know. I was kind of, you know, engrossed in that for a little bit. And I'm trying to think. I did enjoy the show Power when it was on. That's gone. Ray Donovan, I was an advocate of. So, yeah, I really, honestly, I'm not a huge television watcher. Like, I have my certain shows that I do enjoy, but I'm more of a listen to music, read books, meditate type of girl. So you'll find me outside in the garden all day, every day, you know, planting flowers, planting fruits and vegetables, you know, meditating. I'm more into that. I'm like an outdoors girl. Yeah.
See, I am so jealous because I can't plant a garden. I can't do any vegetables out where I live because I'm in the country. Like, I tried it a couple years ago. I was like, I'm going to grow peppers and tomatoes. I don't eat tomatoes and stuff. I'll just give them to my mom, you know, who cares, right? Well, after they get a certain height, the deer and all that and stuff are like, oh, man, I'm hungry, you know, come and eat everything, you know? So I'm like, oh, my, you know, so every time I try to do that, it was like, yeah, they come and eat it. So I'm like, all right, you know, I can't even grow a garden anymore. You know, I just gave up on it, you know, so whatever, you know. Yeah, I'm so jealous. I wish I could grow one. Oh, man.
Oh, I've messed it up so many times, and it's finally, I just thought if I just put a hole in the ground, throw seeds in a little water, it's gonna, like, I learned, you know, it took many years of trial and error, but yeah, I'm an outdoors girl. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. I see. What I think I gotta do is I gotta get like a 10-foot tall fence or something, and you know, put around it or something, just so something can grow, so the deer can't come in there and stuff. Oh,
that's the problem. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't help. I feed squirrels and all that too, and I got all kinds of wildlife that come back there. Oh man, they're so awesome.
Me too.
You know what? I'm a crazy squirrel guy. I took a long piece of rope my dad had, and I tied it to you know, by the feeder, wrapped it around the tree so they can come down. I can watch them.
Oh, well, that's love and dedication for you. That really is. Well, I'm an animal person. I mean, I love animals. You know, so I feed feral cats here at my house. You know, I saw a possum the other day. I'm like, oh, you need food? Like, that's bad. It's bad. You know, we're in Florida, so there's lizards everywhere. I've named all the lizards. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I have a possum that lives near me and comes out. I named him Wally. Like, have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen Larry the Cable Guy? He had a possum living in his truck in one of these movies. He named it Wally. So I was like, I just call him Wally.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, I was actually more scared of the possum than it was of me. You know, I came up on him. He was just like, You
Yeah,
know, I
they're
was like,
very
whoa, what? He's like, what's going
no,
on?
they're very friendly. People
Yeah.
have a terrible misconception about them.
Hmm.
They're the ones you want around
Oh
because
yeah.
they don't. I don't think they even catch rabies. I think they don't get ticks. They're very clean, so people, yeah, love them. They're nice.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. I didn't mess with them or anything. I'm like, yeah, you go do your things. You eat ticks, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not trying to catch a Lyme disease. Thank you, Mr. Possum. Thank you,
Exactly.
Wally.
Exactly. Thank you, Wally.
That's right. Now, if I did have if you had an animal or something like, what would your dream animal be to own? You know, what I mean, if you had like a zoo or something.
Oh my goodness. I would love to have a horse someday. That's for sure.
Ooh.
But like a Shetland pony, those little small horses, I
Oh
love them. They're
yes.
so cute. I would love to have a little potbelly pig, like Alexa Bliss had one, but I think hers
Okay.
actually got bigger. I think she thought she was getting like a small one and it actually grew, but one of the ones that stayed tiny. I would love to have that. Oh my gosh, there's so many exotic animals. I mean, even a tiger I would love to have, as crazy as that may
Ooh.
sound, And I think in Texas people have, I don't know if it's lions or they are allowed to have a certain wildcat, but I'm not sure which one it is. But where I am in Florida, we've seen wild coyote run around. We've seen bobcats. Down in Naples, Florida, a friend of mine said she saw a black panther once.
Oh.
Wandering behind her house. She thought it was just a big dog. And then she realized, whoa, that's a black panther. Like, okay, I'm going to go slowly back in my house now. So, but yeah, we've seen all kinds of animals down here. And my dog, she wants to play with everything, but she's terrified of the little lizards that are like, this big. She's terrified of them.
Oh, that's fun.
So,
Oh yeah. See, in Delaware, we don't have those exotic animals and stuff like alligators and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because if I go
Yeah.
down there, roll up on one, I'd literally like soil myself. I'd have to carry like a change of drawers with me. You know what I mean? Like, no.
yeah, because alligators will show you no mercy.
Woo.
Yeah,
I ain't messing with them.
no, they will show you no mercy for sure.
That's right. Now, exotic animal I would like to have is an ocelot. Those are like little mini cheetahs or whatever. They're like big house cats, man. They're pretty cool. Yes, I like those. Now what do they have in Texas? The one animal I'm thinking of, armadillos.
That's cute.
I haven't seen one. I want to go see one. I've been to the Philly Zoo like so many times, but I've never seen one there. But I want to see an armadillo. I want to see one roll up and see if it goes in the ball and stuff.
There was a meme on Facebook once. They said, like, me when I have to socialize, and just like rolled up.
That's
into
right.
the bar.
There you go.
Like, yeah, that can be me sometimes, I guess.
I do want I want to go back and see the Mirkeet ones and stuff, all that. Like, those are pretty cool. I think they let you go and like stick your head up, like you're, one of them, look around and stuff, So.
Yeah. Seen some interesting animals down here for sure. I've seen vultures, wild turkeys. I've seen some, and bugs. Haven't seen a snake yet. Thank God. Bugs, yeah. I've seen enormous spiders. I've seen bugs. So yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh yeah. I can't do that. Now I've actually seen snakes around my house, but they're garter snakes. They're nothing,
Yeah, they're fine. They're
they're good. Yeah. My dog Lucy or something. She'll come up. She'll try and be all fierce and bark, and it's like, no, and run off.
They always say it's the ones that move slow and methodically are the ones you have to worry. Those are the poisonous ones. The ones that go fast, they're terrified of you.
That's
they're
right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. So, before I, pass it on back to Remy, I do got to ask if you have any, funny backstage, training stories that happened to you or anything you could share. I mean, you can change the name to protect the innocent if you need to.
Oh, sure. No, it probably, and I say it's funny because now I can look back and laugh at it, but, I got banged up quite a bit during training and most of it was probably my own fault for not protecting myself. But, I did, get on my left eye, I had my eyelashes kicked off on one side of my eye. I was very lucky. I look back, I'm like, oh, that could have been really, really bad. But it was a particular move called an up and over, and the timing went bad. And as I went to duck under the person, their foot came down and just got me right here in the eye, the eyebrow bone. And it's one of those things where you're in the moment and the adrenaline's going, so you don't really feel anything. And the coach that was, choreographed was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, keep going. I'm like, I'm on fire, right? And the people that were like on the apron of the ring were like, and I'm thinking, because what happened was I was wearing black mascara on my eyelashes. So when the eyelashes got kicked off, they were like stuck to my eyelid and they looked like blood or like deep red cuts. So they're like, and I'm going, what? And I'm like, it's just my eyelashes. I'm like literally peeling them off my eyelid. But the next day there was a cut on the inside of my eyelid, but it looked a lot worse than what it actually was. And my eye was like super swollen and dark underneath. So I definitely, and they're laughing because, I was one to, I would almost get angry at myself if I wasn't picking something up as quick as I would have liked to. So I would like get that, like, and they come in one day, they're laughing because I got ice on this side. I hurt my knee in the same day. So I had ice on my knee. And I'm like, yeah. So they're laughing and I'm like, oh, listen, it's not ballet, right? This is the things that happen. And one time I was wrestling with one of the girls, and the move was a DDT. And, there's two ways you could land on a DDT. You could land on your knees, or you could land on your face, but you turn, you protect yourself. And at the last second, I had the injured knee. I'm going, oh God, I can't land on my knee. I guess I have to land on my face. And it happened so fast that I just face planted and chipped my front tooth. I wear this, chipped tooth in the front as a badge of honor now. It's like my war wound, I guess, but I got banged up, and I look back and I'm like, wow, those could have been really some serious injuries. But now I'm like, I laugh about it because I'm like, wow, I could have definitely, protected myself more. And, you just learn. It's a learning experience, and you learn as you go along. So I know what not to do anymore. That's for sure.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, how long did eyelashes take to grow back? I've never really lost any, so I couldn't imagine.
A good 5 weeks, yeah, because it was like you had taken tweezers and plucked them out. So it took a good, I was bald from this side of my all the way down, and it was funny because I would still put mascara on those few lashes. Like, well, and I was like, and by the time our showcase came around, I had a nice full, set of lashes again.
That's
which
right.
I was grateful for.
Hey, you got to work with what you got, right?
That's it. Unfortunately, as a woman, if you don't have real eyelashes, you can go and buy them and put them on. So.
There you go. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's great.
Yeah.
So I do want to say, wait, one more.
Sure.
You said you have a match. Your next match is the end of the month.
Correct.
Are you can you tell where it's at or whatever?
Sure. It's a Southern Fried Championship. It's in Georgia. And I will be facing Rekha Tehaka. So she is also with the Nightmare Factory, a good friend of mine and someone else who I greatly admire and respect. And we're so excited to have this match. We're super excited. We're going all out.
That's right. It says what's the date? May what?
It's May 25th.
May 25th. Ooh, okay, nice. I'm gonna write that down. 25th. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to see. I'm gonna see y'all tear it up, man. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna put on a show like you've never seen before.
That's right. That's right. I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. Now, I want to say before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your day, coming on, chatting with us. I had a blast chatting with you and all that, and I hope nothing but the positive things happen to you from here on out. And I hope you are like Kenny Omega or Ultimo Dragon or something. You just roll up with like 9 belts and stuff. We definitely got to have you back on. We got Miss Gold Belts.
Will happen.
Yep. Miss Gold Belts on there. That's right. That's right. So so before I pass back to Remy, I want to say, have a nice day. Keep on kicking ass.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right, Remy, it's all you.
Karma, I gotta say, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks a lot for actually, giving us the opportunity to interview you. We really and truly do appreciate it as well. We know you're a busy woman right now. You're planning your next step in professional wrestling and acting and whatnot. We're very grateful as well. Before we close the show, where can fans find you on social media? Mm-hmm. If they want to find out when your next appearance is, where can fans find? Where can they find you? You have merchandise now too, right?
I do. Yes, I have merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com. You just go to Karma Dean and you'll see some great merchandise there.
Okay, so y'all heard the woman. She has merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees. Go support. Y'all know I'm always beating this dead horse. Go support indie wrestling. That's where 90% of your superstars in AEW, WWE, Impact, and Ring of Honor come from. It's the Indies. So support indie wrestling. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees and cop that Karma Dean merch as well. Trust me, you won't regret it. So we're on social media. Can bookers and promoters find you if they want to book you for their shows?
I do have a Facebook fan page, Karma Dean. That is the fan page itself. And then you can find me on Facebook, my regular name, Jacqueline K. Also Karma Dean. That's where a lot of the getting an echo, sorry. That's where a lot of the promoters have been reaching out to me. And on Instagram, it's Karma Dean _.
Awesome. So once again, we really and truly, we here at Ringside Society wish you all the best, and we hope to see you on the
so much.
We will look forward to seeing you on the big screen real soon, not just in the movies but in AEW, as well.
Thank you.
So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and actually close the show right now. It's about that time. But once again, thank you for actually coming on our show. With that being said, Rob, where can fans find you on social media if they want to, be on our show? Where can wrestlers and promoters find you as well if they want to be on our show? And where can anyone find you if they want to, purchase merchandise or so on?
You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, Rob_base82, Facebook, Rob Base, Twitch, Instagram, or Twitch, all that good stuff. YouTube, Rob Base.
Awesome. And if you want to find me, not that I have anything interesting to say, you can find me on Twitter at @TheRemyBlue. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky and hear me say something cool, but I don't know. We'll see. But our podcast is also on Twitter at Ringside Society. Our podcast is also on Instagram at Ringside Society. And we're also on Facebook. Yes, we have a Facebook group. And guess what? In that Facebook group right now, this is where this episode is being streamed. So definitely join our Facebook group. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, because this is where this is also being streamed as well. And we also have a Teespring store. That's why we have a Teespring store with Ringside Society merch. We got a lot of cool stuff. We have our original logo. We have our Valentine's Day logo. We have our St. Patrick's logo. Heck, we even have a flag logo. So definitely, support us. All proceeds that we get from those sales go back into keeping us afloat. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Make sure you tune in this Saturday, because we'll be having a special guest, Karma. I know you know this man. We'll be having a man who never howls alone. We'll be having a man who, whenever you see the full moon, you'll remember him. The man we're talking about, your fellow campmates, the British Wolf. That's right, he'll be with us this Saturday. We're going to have a howling good time. British Wolf, if that sounded corny, please don't beat me up. I was trying. I'm not exactly the best improviser here, but hey, But yes, the British Wolf will be on our show this Saturday. So we look forward to hearing from him as well. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. We really and truly do appreciate it. Shout out to the Diamond Sheik and Dean Hiram. We see you guys. Thank you. To those of you that are going to listen later on via our YouTube channel, thank you in advance. And those of you that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would go away and take our merch with us. Well, we're sorry you feel that way, but like a kid in the candy store, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said,
Oh, he got cut off.
He got cut off, right?
They cut him off right at the thing. Oh, man. No, Remy. I don't want to finish the intro. I don't want to finish the outro without. Oh, here we go. He's back.
Oh, I think I cut off there. My bad. Yeah. So with that being said, we here at Ringside. We here at Ringside Side. Just want everybody to know that we understand that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. Don't think about it. We're not just anybody. We're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bates. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the cool ass Class 2 from Nightmare Factory, and one time for our special guest, the principle of karma, Karma Dean. What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fast Podcast. And with that being said, y'all stay healthy, stay safe during this pandemic. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay
Bye.
classy, Delaware.
Good night.